You can imagine losing a child like that. I'm gonna tell you, she was a strong one to get through all that. A strong person. Because I don't think I could have done it.
I'm no longer filled with rage. I don't think of her every day. I accept that she's made a life in prison. But do I forgive her? I say forgiveness is a process. And I'm still on that journey.
My name is Alexis Grajales.
Awesome. At this time, you may explain to the board why you believe that you are suitable for an absolute pardon.
Sure. First off, thanks for this opportunity. I don't want to minimize the effects of my actions at the age of 18. I'm very remorseful for those actions. I'm now a father myself, and I'm 42 years old. So being 24 years removed from, foolish adolescent actions, I obviously think differently. I've been in the mortgage industry for many, many years, almost 2 decades now. And my offense has kept me from being able to secure a license to be able to go further. Nonetheless, and despite that, and despite having a record, I'm a business owner, also a career man and a family man. And I would genuinely appreciate the opportunity to live again and kind of put this behind me.
Thank you, Mr. Grajales. Parole Supervisor Brooks, who was I being visited by from the State's Attorney's Office?
Attorney Mambrino.
And Attorney Mambrino, are you here? Good morning.
I am. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? Happy New Year.
Same to you, sir.
Thank you.
I have received the packet with respect to his pardon, and I applaud that he hasn't gotten in any trouble since he's been released from prison. The only thing that I'm curious about is he claims that he's been in the mortgage industry for 2 decades. I don't have any documentation that indicates that he isn't presently employed at this time. I hope he is, and I hope everything that he claims within this packet is in fact true. But I see no documentation with respect to anything that he claims, and that just that alone is concerning to the state with respect to this.
I can speak to that.
Hang on 1 minute. State Attorney, go ahead, ma'am.
So I again, I applaud him if in fact he is working. I know he wrote in here that he closed 2 businesses over the years. And I hope, in fact, he is a productive member of society. But again, there's no documentation with respect to any of this. And I asked on my FOI request if there was anything else contained within his application, but they wrote back to me and there was nothing. I have talked to the victim's parents with respect to this matter, and the victim advocate has a letter from the victim's mother that I believe she's going to read into the record. But I don't want this to just indicate that he was young and he made a mistake, but for his actions on that particular day, a 7-year-old boy would have grown up and would have been able to flourish, and a 2-year-old girl wouldn't have to live with this, and nor would the parents of these children. I did in fact speak to the father of these children also, and it was too painful for him to go back into this and relive this and even write a letter to the board because of how it upsets him. And I understand and I applaud that someone has changed their ways, and I understand that someone was young at the time. But again, he aided Chasity West in her effort to kill someone, a 7-year-old, and she tried to kill a 2-year-old also. She wasn't successful with respect to that. And because of his cooperation, which again, I thank him for, they were able to secure a conviction for Chasity West. But based on everything that I have in front of me, and I assume that you also had, the board has in front of them, I see no reason to give this particular individual a pardon. He's been able to work. He's been able to stay out of jail. And I think that it's important that when he goes for any other sort of a job or anything, that someone knows that he committed this horrendous crime, and they can make the decision whether or not this is the type of person that they want to hire. I have nothing further. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. De Jesus.
Good morning, board members. I do have a statement, and it reads as follows. I have mixed feelings about Mr. Grajales' request for a pardon. His request surprised me, as the possibility that he might request one had never entered my mind. I do understand that when he broke into my house on July 9th, 1998, he never imagined that his accomplice would murder my 7-year-old son and attempt to murder my 2-year-old daughter. Nevertheless, this is what occurred. At the same time, I can't help but conclude that my daughter's life was spared because Mr. Grajales let me go and exited my home after hearing me plead that my children not be hurt. I am also thankful that Mr. Grajales was a cooperating witness and that his accomplice was held accountable for the horrific crimes she committed. 24 years and 6 months have passed since my son, Jarrell, was murdered. I have made strenuous efforts to heal, and the pain has been bearable with the passage of time. My daughter is doing well, but has not escaped the trauma that this ordeal has caused. As a family, we've worked to achieve emotional health by trying to let go of any anger and resentment. I am well aware that Mr. Grajales was very young when he committed this crime, inexperienced and lacking in wisdom and foresight. I hope and pray that he feels remorse in the role he played and that he has lived his life in a way that demonstrates this. Whether he should be pardoned or not, I defer that to the Board of Pardons and Parole. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jesus, and thank the victim for their input, which clearly shows quite a bit of a grace in such a horrible circumstance. And we appreciate victims' input, which can sometimes balance, what we're thinking, and input, obviously, from the distinguished state's attorney who joins us today. Ms. Chance, do you have any questions?
I do hear what Mr. Grajales is saying, but, just in reviewing the information in terms of the crime, and yes, I know it was 24 years ago, but today I'm not certainly in favor of Mr. Grajales getting a pardon today. I know the victim's mother is still mourning the death of a 7-year-old who was an innocent person. And yes, he was, Mr. Grajales was 19 at the time, but I'm not in favor of a pardon today, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Chance. Ms. Zaccagnini.
Thank you. I certainly appreciate the victim, as a mother, the victim's ability to really see things clearly and see things for exactly what they are. That he was young, and he clearly did not know what he was getting himself into, and was helpful in getting the prosecution of the woman who murdered the child. This was such a disturbing case to read, really was. And I do believe that Mr. Grajales had no idea what was going to happen when he entered that house. However, he had to know it was going to be illegal. Sir, you certainly, you weren't getting paid to be a Boy Scout, right? And to do good work. But I also believe that he has learned from this and has moved on and changed his life around. So I myself am torn, just as the victim is.
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead, Ms. Zaccagnini.
Go ahead. I mean, I can certainly see both sides, and the victim didn't oppose or wasn't in favor, which is kind of where I stand, to be honest.
Right. Right. Yeah. In my own thinking, Mr. Grajales having accomplished what he's accomplished and the victim not taking a stand, I would not be opposed to having him move further in his life. I think he's trying to do the right thing. And I mean, he was 18, and what we know
Right.
now about that whole circumstance, which we deal with in our juvenile reconsideration hearings, et cetera, I would not be opposed to having him move forward with his life. Yeah.
And really, why prolong this, continue this, and have the victim come back again?
Absolutely. Which is what, right, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Anything further, Ms. Chance? You're all set?
No, but I would go on the minority.
I understand. Regarding Alexis Grajales, the chair moves that he be granted a full and absolute pardon. Ms. Zaccanini?
Aye.
Ms. Chance?
Nay.
The chair votes aye, and a majority decision, the pardon is granted. State's Attorney Mambrino, thank you for coming today. We appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all for your time.